Welcome to Reverent and Rebellious, a safe space for faith-based conversations on the things that nobody seems to want to talk about these days. We are reverent, we value truth, we elevate scripture, but we are also rebellious. We shatter myths and we destroy dogma, so jump in. Join us, Logan, Pat, and me, the brother Peter, as we get reverent and we get rebellious.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
Man, I'm still just kind of in low gear.
Yeah, you still got the little rasp.
Yeah,
got a little extra rasp.
Yes, I got the Barry White thing going on there.
All down here.
Come on over here, darling.
Some of our listeners didn't know. Did you have bronchitis?
Oh yeah, full blown. Yeah, hit me like a Mack truck.
Yeah.
When did it set in on you?
Thursday. Well, it was Wednesday night. I could feel it coming on.
Yeah.
Thursday was the first inkling. You know, when I just felt my chest just lock up, throat started to hurt, and it's like, crap. So I thought, well, I'll wait till I get up on Friday morning and see what kind of shape I'm in. And I woke up Friday morning, could not talk, could not utter a word.
So you had to get a shot, didn't you?
I had to go. Yep, I had to traipse my way down to the clinic and get a shot.
Yeah, I was talking to Peter on Thursday, and he was all like, "This is Jesus saying, this is what we got to do."
Yeah, I still couldn't sing on Sunday. I had to let everybody else do the singing for me.
What I've it's funny because I've talked to Peter about this because I do this podcast and then the other podcast, and I always, when I get like a cold or sickness, I'm going to lose my voice.
Yeah,
and it's like,
yep.
And it's much, in your case, preaching, you got to have your voice.
That's the only thing I got to have.
You got to have your voice. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I know. So that's what I've asked Peter. I'm like, what do you do? Because, professional musician, like, what are you doing? He's like, well,
sign the camera.
You got to do what you got to do to get your voice.
Just
exactly
start
right.
signing the camera.
Yeah.
I always show up and I say, I'm a pastor. I got to preach in 2 days. I got to sing. I got to, so you need to give me the steroid shot.
Yes.
And just do it. And they're going like, well, but it'll raise your, I don't care.
All right. So was it a blood pressure thing?
Yeah.
All right. I went for my, I've got terrible white coat syndrome too. So
I do too. Yeah.
Man, my blood pressure will be rocking when I go. And when I first went for my back, I remember I went to Campbell's Clinic out in Memphis, and I was just like, and it's funny, I'd had back pain for 15 years. And I was like, I'm dying. That's what it is. He's going to tell me I'm dying. And which Marcy's like, if it was something serious, you'd be dead by now because you've had it for so long. Yeah. But he was like, well, I would give you a, cortisone shot. He said, but I can't. Your blood pressure's too high. I'm scared to give you a steroid shot.
See, I love that women will tell you exactly what you don't want to hear. Like Miss Karen told me, she said, yeah, Peter went and got a steroid shot. He should have got a sinus cocktail shot.
Yeah, I know.
That's what she told me. And I was like, you're right, Miss Karen. You're right, Miss Karen.
She is right. I probably should have, but I made it through. We delivered the sermon as such as it was on Sunday. It's all.
The show must go on.
It absolutely must. Yeah. I told Pat, I said, Pat, it's all right there on paper. All you got to do is read it, man.
Look, I thought he was serious. Like, I had that mini panic attack. I was like, oh, my God, I got to study these notes real quick. And then I was like, wait, Peter's just messing with me. So I was like, oh, my God, I got to study these notes real quick.
That almost would be the way I would want it. I don't think I'd want to have time to think about it.
No, you just get up there and deliver.
Yeah. If I got time to think about it, I'm going to panic.
But then I would have been like, hey, Sue said, wait, that's not what he said. Wait, that's not who said it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not as easy as it looks sometimes.
No.
Yeah. Like I believe me, I know. I understand what it looks like.
Look, I wish people would understand, and give you some more kudos, because that's, when I went and did that little, and extra kudos to you, because you do it. How long? Just the sermon part, not music. How long do you shoot for? 40?
About 45 minutes.
I was gonna say 40 minutes. So when I went and did the keynote speech, man, I I had prepped. I had run it, kind of gone through my head. I was real loose, man. It's flowing really good. When I'm by myself, I do it, and I'm like, man, I'm sharing stories.
Good.
Yeah, I'm like, this is going to be all right. And then I get down there, and it was like 150 people.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but my heart started pounding, and I could feel my muscles tensing. And I get up there, and like I already was, I had the mobile mic, so I could move around. I stayed right there at that podium, and I went for 25 minutes, and it felt like 2 hours. And so I'm telling you guys, y'all underestimate what Peter's doing over here.
You remember the original Rocky where Mick tells Rocky, he says, for a 45-minute fight, you got to train for 45,000 hours. 45,000 hours, kid. You know what that is? 45,000 hours.
Oh, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
it is, man. Like, because I'm telling you, dude, I got to give a 12 to 15 minute devotion this weekend. We did the teacher's appreciation, and I'm like, man, I can't just spend 12 to 15 minutes preparing it. Like it's got to be in depth, and
it does.
It takes a week's worth of work to
do
it.
And that's like even at the shower Sunday, some people were like, Logan, we're going to let you welcome everyone in and do this and that. And I said, no, I'm not. And they were like, you're a talker. And I'm like, yeah, I like talking to individual people. But and they were like, yeah, but you do this. And I said, when I'm doing the show, I'm talking into a mic. I don't see nobody. Like I'm looking at the camera. I ain't looking at nobody else.
Yeah.
So so all that to say, everybody just needs to give Peter a big round of applause.
Yeah, for real.
A little,
So when Peter gets into it and he's getting the Holy Ghost moment, that's the Holy Ghost moment. You got to understand, because it's a lot harder than what it looks like.
Do you get nervous at all anymore?
Yeah, every
Sunday.
week, yeah.
Really?
Every Sunday.
I tell every Sunday I tell myself two things. I can always quit. That's always an option.
Yes.
And I always tell myself, okay, so I ask myself, who in this room right now is more qualified to do this than me?
Yes.
Look, Peter says
There's nobody. So even if I do it poorly, I'm still the best one qualified.
That's very true.
Peter says the same thing every Sunday morning. After we go through our practice and everything, he goes, all right, y'all, let's pray for me.
Yes.
And we pray every Sunday morning. Everybody's like, okay.
I've been doing this a while now. And so, I know the routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you're still, there's this weird thing about, why would God choose somebody like me to speak for him?
Yeah.
It just is. And I've fact checked everything. I've researched it down. I think it's all pretty airtight, but still you're going like, who am I?
But
me?
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, like when I'm worried, I'm just talking about farming. It's not nearly as important.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So you're way more pressure on you, Peter.
I know. It's crazy.
My pastor said hell is Walmart.
Yeah, I'm just talking about crops. You're talking about literal salvation.
I know. And that's the thing is, but it does happen every single time. Every single time.
Yeah.
You got your notes there, everything, all this is good. And I write out a full manuscript. So if I get totally in the weeds, I can go back to some words, but every time, something happens, the Spirit kind of, gets moving, and, I find myself saying things like, wow, that was pretty good.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, exactly. And, it just happens. That's the way it's supposed to happen. I think.
I was going to say, is it safe to say that that's normal?
Right.
Like, when, you're
honestly, if it doesn't happen, there's probably something wrong.
Right.
Because then you're just reading the paper.
You may just
or
read a
speech.
script, right? Yeah.
You're giving a lecture.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like that for a reason. I think it's because it shows that each pastor who does that, they're leaning into the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit
supposed to anyway.
Well, a lot of times go, let me drive for a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
And and the entire congregation can tell, because how many people just end up shaking your hand at the end of the day, going, "Oh, Pastor, that was so good," blah blah blah. And I know for a fact, I know you very well. At the end of the Sunday, you're like, I don't know what happened, but all right, that's great,
Well, and sometimes people will say, "I love it when you said that one thing," and it's like, I didn't ever say that.
Yeah, did I say that? Did I say that?
But somehow the Holy Spirit said that, and that's
right.
the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
it's good.
No, man, it's I almost think that if you don't get a little nervous before, then that's a dangerous sign.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah,
Completely
for
agree.
sure.
So, well, we want you guys to get, we want y'all to get a little nervous.
Yep.
We want y'all to get nervous about pushing those buttons
That's it.
and push them. Face
Yep.
your fears. Push that like button. Hit
the
subscribe.
Yeah, hit the bell.
Give into the conviction of the Spirit.
That's
now.
right.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
I'm gonna take this time to read the YouTube comments. All right, next.
Yeah, there
we're
weren't any.
Yeah, there weren't any, and so we'll go on to the next thing.
We'll have extra next week, though.
Yeah.
Because we sometimes have, this is a self-produced podcast.
But you know what? This is the fun part, though, because Logan always teased me up for this. So now, if you write your comments in on Spotify, Logan will read them. So, Logan, do we have any Spotify comments?
We do. We have one Spotify comment here.
It's a good one, too.
It is a good one, and we gotta quit hyping these because my sister-in-law's head's gonna get too big.
I know.
Her ego, yeah, Liz. So Liz writes in. She said, "Wealth is a relative / subjective term. I know many people and have relatives who I would consider extremely wealthy and also extremely sad. The outside and photos are polished and everyone is smiling. Those photos don't show the broken relationships and hearts. They are also generous and want others to know it. I feel like the point Jesus is trying to make is the same point made in many other episodes. It's not a material monetary issue, it's a heart issue."
That's
Agreed.
very true.
Agreed.
And if you do know some of those very wealthy, sad people, send them our way because
We can tell them where to put their wealth.
we can help them, to not be like that rich young ruler.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I can honestly say this is I've had rich people share things with people, and I've seen it, and it's a beautiful thing. But I've also had people who are not rich share things with me, and I can tell that it was an honest, like, I want you to share with me in what I have, as opposed to someone giving to me out of their abundance. I've had people give to me out of their sacrifice, and I've seen that is a true, giving. That is a true wanting to share this moment with
Well,
you.
because you're giving something that costs you something,
Yeah.
not out of your excess.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
We do
Absolutely.
appreciate the comment, Liz. Keep them coming. You always are
Absolutely.
MVP.
Yes. Next time, divide it into chapters so we can kind of
Plug and play. Yeah.
No, wait, it was a very good comment. I love
Yes. Yeah. But we do seriously ask that you guys leave us those ratings and reviews. And do hit the follow and subscribe buttons on those channels. It helps us out a lot. I know it's little things. You don't think that they make a lot of difference, but I promise they do.
They do.
it. They absolutely do.
Yep.
Everything helps.
So you got a little humor for us?
Well, yes, I do. It's a little story.
All right.
Two medical students were walking along the street when they saw an old man walking with his legs spread apart. He was stiff-legged and walking slowly. One student said to his friend, "I'm sure that poor old man has Peltry syndrome. Those people walk just like that." The other student says, "No, I don't think so. The old man surely has Zavitsky syndrome. He walks slowly and his legs are apart, just as we learned in class." Since they couldn't agree, they decided to ask the old man. They approached him, and one of the students said to him, "We're medical students and couldn't help but notice the way you walk, but we couldn't agree on the syndrome you might have. Could you tell us what it is?" The old man said, "I'll tell you. But first, you tell me what you two fine medical students think." First student said, "Well, I think it's Peltry syndrome." The old man says, "You thought, but you are wrong." The other student says, "Well, I think you have Zavitsky syndrome." The old man said, "You thought, but you are wrong." So they asked him, "Well, old timer, what do you have?" The old man said, "I thought it was gas, but I was wrong too."
I was going to say he's either chafed real bad or he's done something. Yeah.
Ah, that's good.
Yep.
Hopefully he was wearing the brown pants that day.
Well, it doesn't matter what he's wearing, the way he's walking.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do a little, just take a couple of minutes here because I came across an article yesterday, and it sort of sparked something in me because I kind of try to keep my finger on the pulse of church world a little bit,
Yeah.
and I noticed a lot of these very trendy church names,
Okay.
and I'm thinking, okay, is that like is that like a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And so when we made mention several weeks ago about the Church of God Zilla.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited about this already, and I have no idea what you're about to say.
There's another one. There's a little town in Arkansas called Flippin. My dad actually grew up right there.
Is it the Flippin' Church of Christ?
Oh, your dad's from Arkansas?
Well, he's originally from Texas, but they moved to Arkansas when he was 7 or 8 years old to homestead some of the last land that you could homestead in the U.S.
I just assumed he was from Washington.
Please tell me it's the Flippin' Church of Christ.
It is. It's the
Flippin' Church.
The Flippin', yeah. And it's funny, too, because we actually drove through there a couple of years ago, probably. And the high school is Flippin' High School, and they are the Flippin' Bulldogs.
That is hilarious.
It's the Flippin' Bulldogs at Flippin' High, man.
I wonder if they at least like embrace it, like and kind of have fun.
I think they do.
Okay, I would say you have to
at that point.
Yeah, you kind of have to. So there's this little satire article,
Flippin' Church of Christ.
He goes. He says, "Here are 9 types of trending new church names." And the first category is just random words. So they include
but these are real or not?
These are real.
Okay.
All of these are real.
All right.
So City Church, City Hope Church, Cornerstone Church, Create Church, Destiny City Church, Dream City Church, Intersect Church, Elevate Life Church, Life Bridge Church, The Compass Church, Reality Church, and Rise Church.
I can actually picture most of those. Like I could see that being in town.
Yeah.
Some of those are very similar to some around, I would say.
Yeah.
And he says some names made me wonder if a deacon's kid selected them while looking out the window during a road trip, because among them were Red Door Church, the Branch Church, the Harbor Church, the House Church, the Journey Church, the Orchard Church, the Painted Door Church, and the River Church. The River.
We're going to do the Power Church. Isn't that the one we were going to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Power Church with Power Jesus.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. Power Church.
Power Jesus.
So then we get to another category, the grocery store romance novel category.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Again, these are real. Burning Hearts Church, Door of Hope Church, Epiphany Station Church, Liberating Spirit Church, Mercy Road Church, Second Chance Church, Shepherd of the Prairie Church. Oh, this is a great one. The Nest of Love.
Now that just sounds like a place they're getting naked. What is that denomination?
It doesn't. There is no denomination.
That's 2 steps away from the hot crotch.
I was going to say they are getting naked. I promise.
So then there is the category 3, the gated community.
Okay, these are for the stiff Baptists.
Oh, these are everywhere. Bayside Church, Centerpoint Church, Cross Point Church, Grace Point with an E, High Point, Life Point, Cross Bridge, Crossings, Crossroads, The Crossing, Prairie Heights, and The Bridge.
Dang, it's a lot of repeat words in there.
I know. It's like, can you not? Like, I don't know.
Limited alphabet.
Then there's the nightclub category.
All right.
Yeah, he says you can almost feel the bass and smell the martinis. It says there are like 180 Church, Dwell, Elevate, Epic, Flow Church, Discovery Church, Ignite.
Ignite.
Yes. He says there are 3 Ignites. Lighthouse Church, Oasis Church, Submerge, The Alley, The Encounter, The Experience, The Pursuit, The Spot.
The Spot.
Come to
Spot.
Jesus.
The Verge, and he says my favorite nightclub name is Vida Explosiva.
What?
Brought to you by Tenacious D.
Yeah,
Vida Explosiva?
Explosiva. Yeah.
What is that? What's that mean?
Yep.
Explosive life.
Okay. Is this a Spanish church?
I don't know. It doesn't say, but
I gotta Google that one.
okay.
They're Irish.
Yeah, Irish.
Next category is the gym.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. Okay. So the
Macho.
intensely motivated, steel reinforced church names: Champion Life Church, Action Church, Church on the Move, Empowerment Center,
Nice.
No Limits Fellowship,
Oh yeah.
Potential Church, The Foundry, and V Life Church.
Let me tell you,
V Life?
V Life, which actually sounds more like a protein shake.
Let
but
me tell
Yeah.
you, brother, about Jesus Christ.
Then there's the internet startup category.
Okay.
You got Catalyst Church, Church 1132, Engage Church, Gateway, Genesis, Legacy, Mosaic, My Church, Netcast, One Church, Perimeter Church, Quest Church, Rethink Life Church, and Watermark Church.
I like Netcast.
Well, I
Sounds
wanna
like an
know,
internet
I know it
service.
does.
does 1132 start at 1132?
I have no
It
earthly
has
idea.
to, right?
You'd think it would.
It has to.
So then you got the spa.
Hey, the Vida Explosiva is in Milwaukee. With
No way.
That is, and these people don't look Spanish to me.
See, no, they aren't not.
Like they look like just regular old
Milwaukee white
Milwaukee
people.
white
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah,
Explosive life. You were right.
Milwaukee.
there you go. So then there's the spa category.
All right.
Renovate Church, Radiant Church, Cool Water Church, H2O Church, Sandals Church. That's a
Wait,
resort.
that's what I'm saying. So is
a
it
resort.
at the resort?
Fresh Life, Healing Place, or Wellspring. That sounds very peaceful.
Yeah.
I don't know where he gets this. This is the Jeb Bush category.
This has to
That's
be
gotta
really.
be great.
Is it got to be super uptight or something?
It says as if the naming committees were trying to just a bit too hard to appear welcoming and relevant.
All right.
Okay, so he says their names came across as self-complimentary or needy, like a certain presidential candidate and former Florida governor begging a silent audience to please clap.
Yes.
Please give me these names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Church in the Now, Compassion Church, Connection Church, Dream Church, Embrace Ministry Church, Enjoy Church.
Enjoy
Yeah.
church.
Will you please enjoy?
Enjoy church.
Yeah. Happy Corner Church. Wow.
Happy corner.
Rejoice Church, Relevant Church, Relevant Life Church, The Fun Church,
I don't even like that at all. That just sounds.
and Church at the Mall.
Where are you going?
So is that
I'm
at
going
the
to
mall?
the fun
Yeah.
church.
Okay, so here we go to the ninth and final category. He just labels this category, huh?
All right.
Yeah. Scratching my head over these. He says, Caleb's Foot Church.
What? That's a good one, huh?
Caleb's Foot. Welcome to Caleb's Foot. Here, you know. Cowboy Church. We know about that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Relevate Church.
Relevate.
Okay.
What is relevate?
It's like you squished relevance and elevate.
That's not a real word, is
No,
it?
it's not.
Well, all words are made up.
He said, yes, I checked it spelled correctly. Scum of the Earth Church.
Sweet. That's some
I'm
depraved
going.
ones there.
I'm going.
Is that a depraved
It's got to be reformed.
Rob
Yeah.
Zombie
Yeah.
Scum of the Earth
Yeah.
plays. Yeah.
Total depravity church.
depravity?
I'm going to Scum of the Earth Church.
This is a good one. Fishnet Worship Center.
Ooh, that sounds like a strip club.
And it sounds, I like how they got worship center. Sounds very official.
No. Rich Valley Church.
okay.
He says, sounds like it would go well on a salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not in a town called Rich Valley. So
So it's just a bunch of rich folks.
Rock City Church, Trademark Church, and West Side a Jesus Church.
All right. I want to go to Scum of the Earth Church.
Hold on. West Side A Jesus
A
Church?
Jesus Church. Yeah. So those are the trends.
So we got to step
today.
our game up then.
Yeah.
Is what
So
you're saying.
we want to know what's the best or worst church name that you've ever heard.
Scum of the Earth. I'm there, man.
Yeah.
Rob
Yeah.
Zombie songs.
What are we
Scum
doing
of
with our
the
lives?
Earth.
Holly Grove Church? Come on, man.
Yeah.
See, that actually is a really good thing because it's just laying right in there, neutral.
Yeah.
We our
It's
whole
a location based.
yeah, it is. And
Yep.
honestly, usually location-based names are the best names anyway.
Unless it's flipping.
unless it's
The flipping church.
or Church of Godzilla.
God, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all let us know what you think of that.
Church of Hell.
Yeah,
There you
that'd
go.
be nice. We already did an episode on that, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
we did. All right, so today is another installment in the Hard Sayings of Jesus episode.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Did Jesus really mean that?
Does Jesus advocate violence and insurrection?
We
Absolutely.
hope so.
He
We
wants
sure
to whip
hope so.
everybody and slice their pinky toes open.
Yeah. So it is an actual important topic because we live in a world today where people are carrying Christian flags and what are those big guns?
Which ones?
AR-15s?
Is it AR-15?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, man, there's so many. I don't know. There's a lot.
I don't know.
Shotgun.
I don't know all the guns.
It's not as cool as the gun you got.
No, it is not. No, it is not. Absolutely.
Block for the flock.
And so, we've got these, demonstrations on one side, demonstrations on another side. We got these this show of strength and power and might, and we did a episode, remember, on NAR, the Seven Mountain Mandate.
Yeah.
We got to make this take America back. We got to make this a Christian nation. We got to conquer schools and government and every area of society for Jesus. And we do it by force, and we do it by mandating laws, and just infiltrate everything.
And the big thing is we do it right now.
And they use scripture to do this.
Yeah.
And they use things that Jesus actually said. We're going to read more of these passages, but essentially they use Matthew 10:34, which Jesus said, "I did not come to bring peace, but a sword."
Yeah.
There it is. Pretty plain, right?
Yeah.
In Luke 22, Jesus said, "Let the one who has no sword sell his cloak and buy one."
Yeah. That's how I justify getting new guns.
So, we kind of get into this territory of, well, is Jesus the bringer of peace, or does Jesus say, when it's time, we're all going to rise up and
that's what he's
take
talking
this
about.
thing?
I think Jesus is talking about let's get rowdy, man.
So we've got, and the reason why this is so controversial today is because there's a lot of this in our society today on the right hand side and on the left hand side. It's just like
It's everywhere.
everybody is gotten there.
It's funny that the action remains the same, but the reasoning is different.
Well, of course,
Isn't that always though? Yeah, it's just perception, man. I feel like it's a matter of perception.
Yeah.
But I will go ahead and, all jokes aside, that's not what Jesus meant. I'm gonna go ahead and say that on the front end.
That's the stance you're going to take.
Yeah, that's my answer on the front end.
Okay. Well, we've got this big phenomenon of Christian nationalism.
Yeah.
Taking back America for God. That's what we're all about.
Okay.
And we've got, of course, now this is a subject near and dear to your heart, Second Amendment.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
And we'll talk about that a little bit. Is the Second Amendment biblically based? Is it God endorsed? That's a good question to have.
Yeah.
Political violence. We've got more political violence right now than we've had in a long, long time.
Oh yeah. Well, I was honestly thinking about this. Have we ever been this politically divided?
I would point to possibly the late 60s, maybe,
Like
with
segregation?
the civil rights movement, that kind of thing.
Civil War time frame.
I don't know statistically, but I think that people in society generally felt probably as much divided as we are right now.
Well, that's because I watched some old clips of like presidential debates. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how different they are now.
Oh my God!
They used to be respectful.
They were so polite.
They would even like agree with their opponent. He'd be like, "Well, I agree with what he's saying. I've got a different plan of how I would go about it."
Yeah.
And it's like, man, what happened to that?
I would say, the gentleman at the other podium.
Yeah, now it's like, you idiot over there, you're a liar.
It all kind of started with the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy. That's kind of became the time frame where it's like, if people are saying things I don't agree with, we kill them.
Yeah.
And it's been going on and on and on since that time frame. And even today, when we see with Charlie Kirk, like Charlie Kirk was not a political figure, like he was not in office or anything by any stretch, but he was a political.
He was an activist for sure.
And he was killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, it isn't limited to just one side or the other,
right?
Because on the left side we've got with Jesus was a revolutionary, he was a liberator, and so we got to liberate the oppressed and all that kind of stuff.
Which is what didn't a lot of them, they thought he was coming when he rode in on the donkey. It's like, he's about to come in here and he's going to take some names.
We are going to get into that this Sunday.
All right.
It's Palm Sunday.
Hey, Easter service, promote it. When is that?
Oh, it's April 5th.
All right, April 5th. What time?
We have a 7:30 sunrise service. which is about as close to sunrise as I really care to get.
Won't be there.
And then 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is the big Easter celebration. We got Logan's favorite song is going to be sung once again.
I was about to ask, are we going to get that?
Yes, we are.
I love it.
Every time we practice that song, I cuss you on my brain. Logan.
I love it. I love it.
And so then we've got the kind of activist mindset, the violence mindset on the right, on the left, and then you got outside Christianity. We got atheists saying, "See, Christianity is just violence."
Yeah,
they're
we
violent.
got
Just
people
like
coming out
else.
saying the Crusades were not a bad thing. All that kind of stuff. Muslims are saying, well, see, Jesus was a warrior prophet, just like our Muhammad was.
That's
all
right.
that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But this is why it's a hard saying, because we read these at face value and we see, okay, well, that must have been what Jesus said. And that's what we're going to kind of tear apart. So we already went through in this series, gouge out your eye. We went last week was you can't be rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, right?
I'm blind and poor now.
Yep. And so there's two passages that I want to read, and then we'll get to a third one, which is even more confusing and controversial. But I want to deal with these two passages together.
Okay.
And one is Matthew 10:34 through 39.
Okay.
Logan, you get that one, and then and then we'll deal with that one, and then we'll go to the Luke passage.
All right, Matthew 10, what?
34 through 39.
Okay.
And you want to do Luke 51 through 53?
Let's see. Where are we going to get to?
Luke 12, 51 through 53?
Luke 22.
Luke 22.
Yeah. Yeah. No, maybe it isn't Luke. I don't know. Well, I'll tell you when we get there.
Okay.
We're going to deal with Matthew first.
All right. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
We got reams and reams of notes here. So
Got binders of women. What was his name? Mitt Romney. I've got binders full of women.
there you go. All right. So
Stop.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
All right. 34 through 40.
34 through 39.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Do not think that I came to bring peace on the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I came to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's enemies will be the members of his household. He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he who does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He who has found his life will lose it, and he who has lost his life for my sake will find it.
It sounds pretty revolutionary.
That does.
Kind of
Hate your father, or basically, and your mother, and your kids.
And your kids and your in-laws, which is kind of easy. Right?
I was waiting on the joke.
Okay. So, Pat, what's the context on this little passage? What's going on?
It means that you got to take a sword and kill your in-laws.
That's it. Anybody who's against you,
stab
Jesus
them.
said, "I'm come to bring a sword."
Just stab them.
Okay, so if you pan out just a little bit, you see that Jesus is sending out the 12 on their very first missionary journey, right?
Yeah.
So the whole chapter is Jesus' instructions for their little mission trip. So in verses 1 through 4, he gives them authority over demons and diseases. So you can cast out demons, you can heal people.
Yeah.
He instructs them as to where to go, what to take, how to act. So the whole thing about if somebody doesn't receive you, just shake the dust off your sandals and move on.
Yeah. Don't stab them.
But then, lay them out. Yeah,
Let's lay 'em out.
exactly right. But in fact, that's the funny thing about it is he specifically tells them not to confront them.
Yeah.
Okay.
If somebody doesn't receive you, just move on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep on trucking.
And so then we get to verse 16 through 42, and he's giving them warnings about opposition and persecution.
Yeah.
He's basically telling them, this is not always going to go smoothly for you. Right?
Yeah.
People are going to, object to things that you're saying and doing. They're not going to understand who you are, why you're there. So just expect that.
Yeah.
Isn't that the sword?
See, that's where we're going with this whole thing. Yes.
Yeah.
The sword is the divider.
The division.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Gotcha.
So 16 through 42 is about the cost of following Jesus, the cost of this missionary journey. You know, he's sending them out like, you're going to do what I do, only I'm going to put the training wheels on.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That's
you're
a
gonna,
very good way of putting it. Yeah.
but it's still not going to be
Pleasant.
so all that pleasant.
Yeah.
Verse 16, he says, I'm sending you out like sheep among wolves.
Nice.
He says, be on your guard. You will be handed over to local councils and flogged. So,
Hell, he's not
Yeah.
he's not fluffing them up. He's letting them know what's coming.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He says, brother will betray brother to death and a father his child. You will be hated by everyone. How'd you like that missionary journey? You will be hated by everyone because of me.
That sounds
It's
like
an
my
interesting
household.
hype speech, you know?
It kind of is. And so at the end of this whole little instruction, he said, I did not come to bring peace, but a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for everyone with teenage kids at home.
Oh, man. Yeah. So there's basically kind of three ways to look at this. And one is that he was saying a literal sword.
Yeah.
So Jesus calling his followers to armed resistance. Christianity advances through violence. The sword is a weapon to get what you want.
That's right, isn't it? What's the rules of life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women.
Hear the
There it is.
lamentations of the women.
I used the word lamentation in the sermon Sunday.
Oh, man, I was on security. I was on
see.
dang it.
You missed
I'll have
it.
to go back and listen.
Yeah.
Did you say lamentations of their women?
No, I just said. And so Jesus is not talking about doing the persecuting. He's talking about being persecuted, being on
Right.
the receiving
Yeah.
end
Yeah.
of the persecution.
Yeah.
So, and when you look at that in the context of, say, I don't know, the Sermon on the Mount, you know, he says, turn the other cheek. He says, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. And then when you fast forward to Jesus' arrest,
Well, that's what I was about to say. What about when, because Peter uses the sword
Yeah.
and Jesus chastises him and even like puts the dude's ear back on.
I was just going to say that sounds the most like Jesus, is that he says, yes, I've came to be a sword, but we are on the end of the sword.
Yeah.
well, and yeah,
We're not swinging it.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So basically, the sword is going to be the disruption, the conflict, the division that Jesus' message will create.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the signs and wonders that they will do will validate that the message is true, which even makes the division escalate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, hey, here's the kingdom of God. You need to surrender to the kingdom of God. No, I don't. Well, boom, I just healed your daughter. I still don't.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Well,
it's
all
like,
right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Talk to you later. Call you back.
Right, exactly. So think about this. Where else do we see in the New Testament where it talks about a sword?
When he comes down from the heavens
Yeah,
and the sword's coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, I was
Coming
gonna
out of
say,
his
I was
mouth.
gonna say
Yeah.
the sword of the word.
Yeah, what about in Hebrews where it says the word of God is
It's like-
sharper?
Yeah, then a
two-edged
double-edged
sword.
sword.
Yeah. And what does it do? It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart.
Yeah.
It
right.
divides.
Yeah.
It exposes. And people that's what people don't like about the message of the kingdom of God is
True
that it
that.
exposes motives.
True that.
Yeah, and he said this is what it's going to do. And another place with the sword is in Ephesians 6.
Mm-hmm. Right after
the
the-
sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
Right after the
yeah.
armor of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what are we supposed to do with the armor of God? It's supposed to protect us from the attacks of not people, but the attacks of the devil.
Spiritual
Yeah.
forces.
Yeah, exactly. And so, again, it's something that divides, and it has to do with words, not with physical action.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's kind of a reframe of this. He's basically saying, don't think that I came to bring peace in the sense of everyone getting along. I came to bring division because following me will set you at odds with those who reject me, even your own family.
That's right.
But see, and even a lot of churches have forgotten this.
Truth.
Let's go there.
Okay, let's go there.
Let's go there. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, because You got, the famous Westboro Baptist Church, right?
Yep.
I mean,
They go hardcore. Way.
They actually protested me and protested one of my fellow soldiers' funerals.
really.
Dang.
They did.
Man.
In North Carolina.
They feel like the blowback that they get is
Righteous.
It makes them even more holy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's division.
But I'll tell you, and I feel like it can go on both sides because you've got the churches now that are like, we don't want to be offensive.
Oh boy, yeah.
So we're not going to step on any toes.
Yeah.
And it's like, man.
Rich Valley Church and Rise Church.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's where I'm like, they've forgotten that.
They're not going to divide anybody.
No.
What is the guy from Westboro? Fred Phelps?
I don't remember.
I think that's his name is Fred Phelps.
I don't know.
Flipping Fred.
Flipping.
They for real. They protest every soldier's funeral and things like that.
And they actually write very offensive things on signs that are not Jesus-like at all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's terrible.
For sure.
But then, like you say, on the other hand, it's like, now we're not even going to talk about the blood because that would
be
it
offensive.
might be offensive to somebody.
Yeah.
Jesus is my friend.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the name of that church.
But basically, he's saying following me is going to cost you something.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not going to be just all sunshine and roses because there will be people who reject it. Now,
and he's talking about the sword that would cut all the way through families. Like it's not just like this is my job.
Well,
or this is
Pat, you've experienced that.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, not
sure.
all of your family, extended family, is on board.
That's right.
With where you are.
That's right. Not at all. And that's literally what Jesus meant is, the sword cuts the deepest. Like you have to make a choice is essentially what it is you got to make a choice because Jesus says, this is who you are. And we find ourselves in Jesus, and then he lays the sword out. And you got a choice to make. Do I appease the world or do I stay on this side of the sword? Because you can jump on that other side. You can. For sure. And you can also, try to smooth out the division,
Yeah.
You can try to, it's like, no, we're all just going to get along. Everything's okay.
It's more a rake than a sword.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, there you go. A little broom. Yeah. But Jesus is actually quoting a prophecy from Micah chapter 7. I bet you didn't know that.
When they capitalize?
He says, he says, for a son dishonors his father, a daughter rises up against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Yep. A man's enemies are the members of his own household.
Yep.
This is just a prophecy about when the kingdom of God comes to the earth. This is what's going to happen. It's not going to be, necessarily well received.
That's right.
And we, Jesus' most vivid expression of the kingdom of God and of his nature as the Son of God, as God in the flesh, was exactly what got him arrested at night and
That's right.
Tried, multiple different times, got him tortured and beaten beyond recognition and crucified. I mean, that's right. That's exactly what Jesus is talking about. So he's talking about this almost in like a microcosm form. It's like what you're going to experience is what I'm going to experience, like to the full. When all this stuff happens, and so. In Micah's context, he is prophesying that there would be a time of judgment and moral decay.
Yep.
I don't know if I've seen that in our world today.
No, not here. Maybe overseas somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Other countries,
foreign
lands.
Other people have that.
But here's the deal: is the ones who are in full blown moral decay, when the light is shined on them. And the truth is spoken to them, they completely revolt against it.
That's right.
We were talking about this in farming world and in entertainment world, all this stuff. It's like, they're not going to approach the truth because it's bad for the bottom line.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Logan was just telling us a story about a very famous podcaster who is spouting all of these untruths. They're not true.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, he made an effort to reach out to him to actually say, hey, I invite you into my world where there is truth. Yep. It's like, nope, it'll be bad. I'll lose followers.
Be bad for us on social media.
And it's vice versa too. If there's a very dirty person who calls us out, Well, they're just bitter. They're a dirty person. They're lies. They're this, that, and the third. That there's no way that can be true.
Would you say that if you are not causing any kind of controversy, you may not be doing?
You ain't doing anything.
Yep.
That's what I always was
You
told.
don't have any followers.
when
Right.
when I first started podcasting and like was getting into it, and that's what I had some people like. It was the old thing. It's like, man, if you ain't got haters, you ain't doing nothing.
Yep.
So
There's a lot of truth to that.
That's true.
And it's a balance thing too, because I don't ever want to get up and preach hellfire and brimstone and how terrible you are sitting in your pew or anything like that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, I don't want to just preach
Sunshine
something
rainbows.
that's not convicting. It's
Right.
because
well, you're not going for. See, some people go for shock value because they're like from a growth standpoint. Like just from our podcast or social media world, if you're a shocking person, you can explode.
I know.
You can put out some really abrasive things and it will make you absolutely explode. And oftentimes guys go there because they get frustrated because a lot of them will actually share true stuff and it gets no traction.
right.
Well,
It's like, man. And so then they kind of almost become this shock voice.
In my experience from hearing most of these stories, it's funny is like most of the most shocking things that come out are people on their deathbed. For the very reason that if you were to give this information while you were living in the
Yeah.
prime of your life, you're going to get assassinated or something's going to
Yeah.
happen to you.
You'll get a sword.
Yes,
Yeah.
but when people just make up this asinine stuff off the wall or just go with whatever the shock story is, and nothing happens to them because it's usually a bunch of crap. It's usually just a bunch of
but the tragic
BS.
thing is that so many people buy into it.
That's
Yes.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
We love shock.
Because we respond to fear and uncertainty.
That's right.
yeah.
And so if you can make people afraid or angry,
Yep.
you got something
Yes.
going. And in fact, statistically, the fastest growing churches in our nation today are those that misinterpret this passage right here.
I'm sure.
Yep.
And that
Would
is-
it be I wonder, I wish that we could know the statistic. If it's, I almost would bet it's the angry ones that are growing faster.
Absolutely.
Look,
Yeah,
man,
absolutely.
I guarantee it. Look, I recently had a men's group text me and wanted me to be a part of something, and they were sending me Mark Driscoll.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is what we're trying to push for this agenda. And I'm like, I can't be a
No,
part of this.
can't do that.
Like, I just can't.
Oh, Driscoll.
Well, but here's the deal: is they've whipped people up into a frenzy
That's
by
right.
convincing them that we are being persecuted.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're being persecuted. Somebody has stages a protest or a riot in some city in the north, and that means we as Christians are being
Yet
persecuted.
here we are, three fellas peacefully sitting here talking about the Bible,
All three
putting
of
out
us.
our weekly podcast. And like I can go in the grocery store and I
Nothing's
can
gonna
tell
happen.
somebody, hey man, have you gone to church? We can have that conversation and no one's chopping my head off.
No.
Well, and
they
here's the
are
deal
not.
too: is all three of us are from different walks of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we don't even know what persecution is.
That's right.
I'm just
I agree.
telling you.
No, there's not guys with AK-47s and machetes that are killing us because we're meeting to worship and things like that. That to me is persecution.
Completely.
When your family gets slaughtered because you go and praise Jesus.
Yeah, when
We
you
have
have
the-
to work out elaborate systems of secret communication so you can meet on a Sunday
Yeah.
morning,
Yeah.
that's persecution.
We have the freedom to say whatever we want.
Yep, we do at this point. For now,
we do.
I was going to say for now.
Yeah,
for
we
now.
don't know what's
as long as we have those swords, we can keep
That's
that.
exactly right. But that's the whole thing is, basically Jesus is talking in this passage about what's going to happen when this thing lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, just say the truth and you're going to get a sword. It's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So let's go to the Luke passage.
All right.
Luke 22, 35 through 38. This is a juicy one.
Okay.
Got it?
Oh, you want me to pull
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Oh, did you want me to do it? I got mine.
I
Then.
got, I got you. I got
Pat's
you.
going to get it.
What is it? Luke 22,
35 through 38.
35 through 38. All right. Says, and he said to them, when I sent you out without money belt and bag and sandals, you did not lack anything, did you? They said, no, nothing. And he said to them, but now whoever has a money belt, take it along. Likewise, a bag. And whoever has no sword is to sell his coat and buy one. For I tell you that it is written must be fulfilled in me, and he was numbered with transgressors. For that which refers to me has its fulfillment. He said, Lord, look, here are 2 swords. And he said to them, it is enough.
I didn't know you ever could have enough swords.
Apparently they had 2.
You got one for each hand.
And Jesus says that's enough.
That's enough. It's like, unless you grow another arm, 2 will do.
That's right. But here's the deal, though. It's an odd passage because he says, okay, when I sent you out for that other missionary journey, remember the one? And, they came back from that missionary journey just ecstatic.
Yeah.
Because they're like, yeah, the demons obey us and the sicknesses leave. We heal people. And he's going like, yeah, don't get too excited about that. Just be satisfied that your name is written in the book of life.
Yeah.
Let's just go that far. But then he's referring back to this missionary trip. And he says, when I sent you out without a money belt, without a bag, and without sandals, I said, just take your coat. That's it.
That's right.
And how did you do? Did you lack anything? Oh, no, people provided for us. They fed us. Everybody was okay. And all that was great. And he said, but now, when is now? What's
right now?
Yeah, but now, this is the night before Jesus' crucifixion.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so it feels like, and it kind of sounds like he's saying, yeah, something's about to go down. You guys better get a sword.
Yeah.
Just
We're going to need some swords.
Yeah.
And he says, because it's written, and he was numbered with the transgressors. What is a transgressor? Do you know what he's talking about there?
Sinner.
Is that not, well, that's what I'm saying, just.
It actually is, I don't know if it's the exact same word, but it's the same category of word that refers to Barabbas.
Oh, okay.
Who was a political insurrectionist and a violent thief.
And I love that he started this passage with Satan wants to sift you like
Oh,
wheat.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that all is kind of wrapped in there. But interesting thing about it, I just did last night, I just did a deep dive on Barabbas because I was confused. Barabbas comes into play, by the way, this week. That's why I was doing it.
Yeah.
I was confused because the New American Standard calls him a robber. And it's like, Barabbas, I mean, what's the big deal with Barabbas being a robber and he's sentenced to death? And this is not his first time in the pokey either. He's been there a number of times. Notorious, they said. And it's like, what is this deal with a robber? Well, other translations call him an insurrectionist. That's a little bit of a reading into the translation, but not too far. Yeah. Because you remember when Jesus is doing parables and things like that, and he talks about the thief. Yep. He talks about the thief enters the home and all that stuff. There's a difference between a thief and a robber. The thief does so by stealth at night.
Robber's violent.
Robber is in the open, violent, with the intent to shed blood. Mm-hmm. Okay. And this is wrapped up in the idea that that this uprising or this zealot or this so he was in that category. And this is exactly what Jesus is talking about here. He says, and he was numbered with those who want to do violence, okay, and who want to resist the system and steal and kill and all that kind of stuff. And he says, I'm telling you that this must be fulfilled in me. This is what was written about me, and this is the way that I'm going to be viewed. Right. Tomorrow. Yeah. Tonight. Right. Yeah, it's right there. So this is right after the Last Supper. He has told them that one of them will betray him. Yeah. The disciples are arguing about which one is the greatest, which is always a good look.
It is, yes.
Yeah. And Jesus says, none of you are greatest. In fact, Peter, you're going to deny that you ever knew me 3 times.
It's in that same passage, yeah.
Yeah, it's all wrapped up in there. And, Luke is very detail oriented, and he wants you to kind of, get into all this stuff. Yeah. And then there's this conversation about the swords, and then they go to the Garden of Gethsemane. Yep.
Peter falls asleep and draws a sword.
Exactly. It's like how much more visual do you need to get? Right. He's sleeping while Jesus is praying when he told him to stay awake.
Yeah. But you said something Sunday that was so good is he called him Simon.
I know.
You know,
Yeah,
Simon.
reverted him
Simon.
back, man.
Yeah, he's like, you're not acting with the way
Yeah.
you're supposed to be. You're being who you used to be, and that we see that because Peter, aka Simon, draws the sword.
I know. But at least he didn't call him Satan like he did the other time.
Yeah.
Get behind me, Satan.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
does tell him, Simon, Satan wants to sift you like wheat.
Yeah, well, here's the wild thing about that little statement that he made. He said that the evil one has requested to sift you like wheat. That means literally to tear you apart until you are nothing but dust.
That's right.
Yeah, and he says, but I have prayed for you, and it's like, oh, you got Jesus praying for you. That's good. That's really
that's
good.
a solid.
But here's the wild thing about it. He says, I have prayed for you so that when you come back, then you can encourage the brethren. And Peter's like,
where am I going?
what do you mean when I come back?
Yeah.
I'm going with you to death.
Yeah.
You know, I'm your boy. I'm your, number one. And Jesus is just like,
Nah.
no, I'm just telling you, when you come back, when you make your comeback from falling off the face of the map.
And what's really incredible about that too, just speaking about names, is like Jesus will revert back to Simon a lot of times with them.
Absolutely.
But after the resurrection, we also hear Peter called Cephas.
Yeah.
It never goes back to Simon.
No. Now, you remember the scene where Jesus restores Peter.
Yeah.
He calls him Simon then. And then that's basically when that name goes away.
That's right. Dead names.
When he is restored and commissioned, then we don't hear Simon again. Cephas is Paul's pet name for Peter.
Yep.
And I think that Paul sometimes says it tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Because, Paul and Peter got into a little dust up
Yeah.
when Peter was basically being a hypocrite and Paul
Yeah.
called him out on it. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. That's about who is an apostle.
But then when you dig into this little conversation just a little bit, you don't even have to dig too far. You see, okay, he's referencing the past mission. He said, I sent you out with nothing, and I, bless you, brother, and you were protected.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that you were not necessarily in a safe place. You were supernaturally protected. I took care of that. Right?
Yeah.
But phase 2 tonight into tomorrow, you're not gonna have the same privilege.
Right.
Things are about to change. And he's really kind of, trying to draw this. He's told them before. He told them straight out, it won't be long before I'm crucified.
Yeah.
And they're just like blowing right past it.
What do you think would have happened if they had not fallen asleep?
Well, I try to think about this exact thing all the time. Could you imagine what it would be like to be in the apostles' shoes? The night of, if we were in that situation.
Oh, I'm telling you, I would scatter.
Yeah, there's no way.
yeah.
There's no way we could have lived up
no.
to what Jesus wanted.
No, when I was preparing that message, I asked myself the same question.
Yeah, I
And it's like,
would have kicked rocks,
No.
man. I would have been gone.
You honestly have to give Peter a little credit.
At least he took a swing.
I know. But the funny thing about it is, okay, so you got to think, okay, so Peter draws a sword. It's not a real sword.
Right.
He doesn't have access to like a military sword.
Yeah, it's more like a long dagger.
Yeah, a long knife or something. Now, there's two ways to look at this. Either Peter was deadly accurate or he was really a bad swinger.
Yeah. And I think he was a bad swinger.
I think he was too, because I think he was trying to
Take
go
his
for
head
the
off.
throat.
Yeah. I think he was trying to kill him.
But you could say, well, he wanted to teach him a lesson, so he got his ear.
Yeah.
I mean, Peter knew how to handle a knife, but mostly to fillet a fish, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Like not in a combat situation.
I don't think he
yeah,
would.
I agree with you 100%. I think it was just.
I think he was a bad swinger.
Yeah.
I'm going to say he was deadly accurate.
I really think it was his inadequacy that he was trying.
I think Peter was like, I'm gonna chop this man's ear off,
surgically
and show
remove
him.
his ear. Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. But here's the deal. So why is he drawing the contrast between missionary trip 1 and what they're just about to experience? It hangs on this line from Isaiah 53. He was numbered with the transgressors.
Yeah.
And he said, this is what's being fulfilled in me right now. So guess what? You're a transgressor too.
Yeah.
And I think that's important that when we look at scripture too, we talked about the capitalization. When we see these capitals, we need to understand what is Jesus quoting right here. And as we go back to Isaiah, and that's what it said.
Jesus is basically weaving this all together.
Yeah.
You know, and it says many times they don't understand it at the time. But after everything took place, they understood.
Yeah.
They saw that what Jesus was trying to do, which is why
2020, baby.
Well, but this is why when they wrote their gospels, they were careful to include all this stuff.
That's right, because they were like, I didn't see it.
I didn't see
firsthand.
it firsthand. But boy, I see it now, and I want you to see it. You know.
Yeah.
So you can kind of interpret this in one way that Jesus is commanding them to arm themselves.
Yeah.
So you did mention earlier we would talk a little 2A.
Yeah.
So I'm curious then. So what's your take? Is Jesus? Would he be pro 2A or is he anti 2A?
I don't think that Jesus really cares all that much.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yep. I was going to say the same thing.
Because again, we talked about it earlier. It's a heart issue. So I don't think that it matters either way. How many guns you're able to carry or where you're able to carry them or anything.
But all right, so, and I think I've mentioned this on here before, but it applies well, so I want to reshare this story. And it's like I'm a gun collector.
Yeah.
Like I'm that's one
You
of
are
the things.
both of y'all are gun men.
That's what
I respect that.
And so, but one of the purposes of a firearm is defense. You can defend yourself.
That's right.
And so, like I have heard of, there's a preacher and his name's, John Piper. He's very known.
Yeah.
There's a video of him and somebody wrote in, they can you do the thing like ask Pastor John. And I listened to this a while back and I'd asked Peter about it because I was like, this bothers me. And he basically was saying if he was at home and somebody broke into his house, he would let them kill him, and he would not defend himself. And they're like,
because if he killed him, he would send him to hell.
He's sending him to hell.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not gonna, because he said, obviously, if he's breaking into my home, he is not in a good place in his heart. And he said, so if I kill him, and so that's where, so I definitely, and I kind of pride myself in feeling like I do a pretty good job trying to protect my family, especially, which, and I will add in there, he did add in the caveat, if his family was there, it would be a little different. Like he would try to defend his family, but at the same time, like, what is the stance on like defenders from Jesus' eye? Because I mean, I know he says, "Blessed are the peacemakers," but like,
and he says, "Love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you," all that stuff. Yeah,
can you defend yourself?
And also, I think it comes down to a mindset too, because I've been someone who's owned 0 guns, and I've been someone who's owned all the guns. And the only time it's ever mattered is when I was in combat, and they weren't my firearms. They were the military's firearms that I used.
Yeah.
And so I can honestly say that it doesn't matter what I've personally owned. It's never affected my life.
Yeah.
Except maybe a peace of mind. You know, that's it. And so I think it really comes down to just like, what is the purpose? Because here's the deal, is if someone kicks in your door, right, like, I've seen, no offense, Tipton County, I've seen a lot of you shoot. You got a better chance of throwing your pistol at me than you do shooting me. I can do better with a kitchen knife than you can with your little 9mm that won't do anything. I've seen it. But then again, you know, I've seen people who are deadly accurate with firearms and can, you know,
and
Charlie Kirk's
can't discount the luck factor. Even the blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and then.
That's right. And so, like, I don't think Jesus, like, kind of like what Peter said, I don't think Jesus cares either way. I don't care that you have something to protect yourself,
and I agree on the guns, but I'm just curious on, like, wonder what his thoughts would be on the defending side. Because they want to say, well, you got to turn the other cheek, brother.
I know. That's part of the old Sermon on the Mount thing, for sure. Interesting thing is, the Christian world, since the very beginning of Christianity, has been divided on this. Not violently divided. I mean, people have debated this, but it hasn't been a super divisive issue. It really, even the church fathers, they're like, you go with your own conviction.
Yeah.
There are, we see in all of church history, we see those who were theologians and scholars, that were very much pacifists. I mean, it's like, no, never. In fact, for the first 300 years of Christianity, Christians would not join the military.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just none of them.
Well, there's a conscientious
Objector.
objector.
Yeah. And there are,
But then you got Hacksaw Ridge.
then you have, Christians even today who will not advocate a Christian being on the police force.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. Just anything violent is not a part of Jesus' world. Now, I will say, including this, Jesus never advocates violence.
Yeah.
That's right.
He just never does. The most violent thing Jesus ever does is he flips the tables over in the court, and it says he fashioned a whip.
Yeah.
Well,
But what do you make the whip out of?
that's the thing. He fashioned a whip out of something that would not hurt anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like making a whip out of jelly.
Yeah, or yarn or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
It makes a good noise.
it was the visual was the important thing. It was also to scatter the animals, which
That's
is
right.
also the important thing. I'm not minimizing that, but so many of these, that cling on to the literal interpretation of these verses will
Right.
say, well, yeah, but Jesus flipped tables. They act like that's the only thing Jesus ever did.
That's right.
Yeah.
And yes, he flipped the tables. Yes, he was angry. Yes, he was
Yep.
forceful. But he didn't strike anybody,
Yep.
and he never told anybody to strike anybody.
I'm just saying, I've seen grandparents flip tables over Monopoly.
Yeah, I
And
know.
it was not a scary sight by any means.
My mom used to do that.
I mean,
really
you know
did.
what I mean? Like, it's not that big a deal,
No,
man.
but, and again, I don't want to minimize it because it was a pivotal event. I mean, it was a huge deal for him to do that. But here's the funny thing about it, because if you go to Luke and you look at the scene in the garden, the arrest scene.
Yeah.
It says, when those who were around him saw what was going to happen, they said, "Lord, shall we strike with the sword?" That was their first reaction.
That's
right.
It's like, should we strike with the two swords?
It's like Doc Holliday. I got two guns, one for each of you.
Yeah. But so then Peter cut off the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jesus' response to that was, "Stop!" exclamation point.
Put your
No
sword back
more
in
of
its seat.
this.
Yep.
He says, "No more of this." And he touched his ear and healed him.
Now, all right. So do you think part of that was because, one, Jesus knows he has to be crucified, and
For
two,
sure.
he probably also knows that more than likely these soldiers are going to massacre all of them.
Exactly. And that is, I think it's in John's account. I could be wrong. Might be. Anyway, one of the accounts of the arrest, Jesus says, "Who are you looking for?"
Yeah.
He said, "Jesus of Nazareth." And
I am
he's-
he.
He says, I am. And they all fall down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they get back up and he goes, who are you looking for? And he says, "I already told you." But then he immediately says, "Let these go."
Yeah.
That's his primary concern.
Yeah.
And so I think really in this, not only does he not want them to be violent towards somebody, but he doesn't want them to be on the short end of the
Sure.
violence that could come to them.
No one will ever convince me that Jesus wants physical harm done to any human being. No one will ever convince me of that.
Yeah.
Because Jesus came for everyone.
And you could say, "Oh well, yeah, but Jesus had the miracle power. He didn't need no weapons. He could just point a finger and calm the wind and the waves."
Who did Jesus violently attack?
The powers of darkness.
That's it.
He put them
nothing
to
but
shame.
Spiritual people.
Yeah.
Nothing but the spiritual battle is the only people Jesus ever attacked.
So would he be okay with you using violence to defend yourself?
Sure. Because the sanctity of life.
I think that, I can speak for myself. I will defend myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
To the best of my ability.
No, I don't. I
absolutely will.
don't think if someone says something about your mama and you go over to their house
No.
and kill them,
No.
that's not defense.
That's aggressive.
I think
Yeah.
if someone's trying to kill you and you defend yourself,
Well, and I'm asking, this is near and dear to me. I'm literally I'm the head of security at our church.
That's it.
I mean, like I have a team of guys that we're all there. We've been through some training for this thing, and so it's like If God forbid something were to happen and somebody had to use violence to stop somebody, I'm like,
Yep.
or where, biblically, how does that fall? Like that's where
I'm always brought back to the shepherd's rod and the shepherd's staff. We are called to use the shepherd's staff to pull in people. There's a hook on it for a reason. We pull them in. We pull the lost people in. But the staff is to beat the wolves when they try to attack the flock. And the flock can be your family. It can be your person. It can be the church. It can be whatever. When you have to defend yourself, sure, go for it.
But here's the funny thing about that is Jesus calls himself the good shepherd.
That's
right. So, David writes in Psalm 23, your rod and your staff comfort me.
That's right.
Because they do comfort me. You're going to come and rescue me and you're going to defend me.
That's right.
But Jesus' rod is not a physical rod. It's a spiritual rod.
That's right.
We know that.
That's right.
It's clear. So, in the Lord's Prayer, and deliver us from the evil one.
That's right. Not the evil situation going on in my day.
No, the evil one. Literally, the evil one.
The evil Satan.
So
the Satan.
My conviction is that I think we should absolutely protect ourselves and those that we care about.
Yeah.
We know that there is violence in this world and there is evil intent in this world. And so, but I also am not going to tell somebody who doesn't believe in that they're totally wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Because, Jesus never told us to do that.
But this is one of my favorite things to tell people is everyone's like, spare the rod, spoil the child. And so that scripture does not mean beat your kids. It means protect your kids, by the way.
So think about this take on this. You could take it literally. You could take it totally symbolically, which it may be taking it a little bit too far. But Jesus is just talking about buying a sword, as in understand that this opposition is going to come to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Accept it, embrace it. That kind of thing. Because he says, "Look, we have two swords," and Jesus basically says, when he says it is enough. He's saying enough of this.
Yeah.
And what's funny is when he says
that's silly.
When he says get two swords, that's one for each hand. And I really think that he is saying in that moment is you are going to have your hands full enough fighting, with the spiritual darkness. You're going to have your hands full enough with this.
And I think he's also kind of making a little bit of a commentary on their approach.
Right.
Like,
you're going to go up against these military.
Get yourself as many swords as you want.
Yeah. And it's not going to make a difference.
And it won't make a difference.
You're going to get massacred.
And this is kind of a little third view of this, which I think is a pretty reasonable view. Basically, he's telling them to prepare for a hostile event, a hostile world, but not with violence.
Right.
Because basically he's saying, don't be silly. And he already has told them they're going to scatter and they're going to desert him anyway.
Yeah.
He's just saying,
he's not going to call to arms people who are scattering.
Right. And it's like, just don't be stupid, just don't be silly. So it's about, again, this, just like the Matthew passage, it's about describing what's going to happen, not how you need to take action.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not about conquest, in other words, aggression.
That's right.
It's about understanding.
That's right.
What's coming.
That's right.
And kind of the deal is when you look at the whole thing, the whole episode, he tells him to get a sword, and then he rebukes Peter for using it.
Yeah,
I think he's kind of drawing him back to that moment. It says, I told you that was going to be silly.
But what? Also, too, it brings me back to Jesus telling parables, and when he basically tells the apostles, he's like, "How thick are you? How many times do I have to explain this to you?"
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I did not mean this literally.
Right.
And so I think that's kind of in that same vein too.
Well, but this is where we get to, because so many people have taken these two passages and have sort of concocted a whole theology around them.
Yeah.
The Crusades.
For sure.
They were all about all about that.
We saw how well that went too for the kingdom.
Oh man. And then you got colonialism.
Yep.
Where it's like, oh yeah, we got to go conquer these savages and make them all Christians.
Yeah.
So that we
even
can,
down to the Salem witch trials.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they were pretending to pull their finger off and they burned them.
Yeah, they
Did
were
you
like,
get that meme I sent you, Peter?
Yes, I did. I love it.
"Who's got your nose? Kill him!"
Yeah, exactly.
Does she float? If she floats, she's a witch. If
Yeah.
she sinks and drowns, she's not a witch.
And she's still dead.
She's dead.
Yes, exactly. But then we see this all kind of manifesting in the whole modern Christian nationalism movement. And,
Absolutely.
And, in some ways you can say, well, would it be bad to have a Christian country? It's like, a country governed by Christian values and principles. And it's like, well, in some ways it might be nice for a lot of people. But on the other hand, who are you actually bringing to Christ when you do that?
That's what I was just going to ask is what defines what's Christian? Because like someone had recently told my wife when they come to the church, they were like, I don't know if this was the church for me because they saw me on stage playing guitar and, with the worship team. And they're like, this guy with long hair and tattoos, like maybe this isn't the church for me.
They're like, this guy's clearly gay. I don't know if we can.
but after a few Sundays though, they're like, okay, this doesn't matter. It's true worship, and it's a real church and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We're going on. But there it is that perception at the beginning of it, is a lot of times we'll go, well, is that really of Jesus? It doesn't fit my view of Jesus, so that's not really of Jesus. And so we'll shut it down.
Well,
and I think that's what happens with Peter here.
But when you look at going back to the comment you made about churches kind of mishandling this.
Yeah.
It happens on the extremes, as most negative things do. But you got the extreme conservative right-wing churches who are all about the sword and all about the get chill weapon and we're going to go fight.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you've got the extremely progressive church that is convinced that Jesus was nothing more than a liberationist and just came for the oppressed and all this stuff. And
basically Gandhi.
You are in the and they will escalate that to the point of violence.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's funny. They both go so extreme. They meet back at the same.
That's exactly right because Jesus was a revolutionary. So as long as you're going against the oppressor,
we can kill
of
them.
The marginalized, we can slaughter them.
That's right. We can kill them.
Yeah. And, they say things like, well, Jesus sided with the oppressed and the marginalized. And sometimes in order to resist that, it requires violence.
Except Jesus also ate with tax collectors and sinners and all that other kind of good stuff too.
We said this last week. Jesus came for as many rich people as he did poor people.
Yeah,
that's right. Jesus came for everyone.
That's it.
He gets us.
So, that's exactly right.
And we're all wrong.
Yes.
That's the thing is we're all wrong.
Yeah. So in the last, so to wrap up this side of it, I think it's very fair to say when Jesus is talking about a sword, he's talking about division. He's talking about resistance to the truth, the message, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And many people, it's kind of an interesting dynamic too, because I was asked the question the other day, why did Judas betray Jesus? And I think that
he was a jerk.
Well, actually, why did he have to betray him? Why didn't he just? Why this big secret thing?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is they could not arrest Jesus during the day because of the crowds.
Right.
Yeah.
Crowds were going to get all agitated, and then Rome was just going to come in and crush them all.
Yeah.
It was going to be over. So they had to do all this stuff at night. Mm-hmm. So they had to know where Jesus was going to be. Mm-hmm. And in a couple of different accounts of the garden scene, it just states right there, Judas knew that Jesus went there often.
Right.
He knew where he was going to be.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the deal. But what was Judas' motive behind betraying Jesus? What was he going to get out of it? He accepted, a measly little sum of 30 pieces of silver.
Yeah. That he threw back.
Yeah.
We tried to give it back.
Absolutely. The deal is that Judas wanted to force Jesus' hand.
Yep.
Yeah, he wanted him to start the revolution.
Yeah, and he thought, well, if I can get Rome to come at him to arrest him and the religious leaders to come at him to arrest him,
He'll rise up.
he's got to resist. He's
right.
going to have to resist. He's going to have to wave his hand, and he's going to, and then the whole process can begin. Then once he gets started, I just got to give Jesus a little kickstart here.
And I really believe that that's why Judas threw the money back
And went and
killed
hanged himself. Yes.
Because he was like, everything I knew was wrong.
Yeah. Everything this whole time, I've been reading this whole thing wrong. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what it is.
I just killed the Son of God.
I'll tell you what it actually
What's
is.
that?
He was chosen. He was predetermined to be. He wasn't elect.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But what's funny though is
His heart was hardened.
What's funny though is Jesus chose Judas knowing everything on the front end.
Of course. Yeah.
And do you think Judas had the opportunity to not have that future?
That's an interesting question. Yeah,
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course he did. Because Judas, if it wasn't Judas, it would have been someone else.
Someone else.
Yeah.
That's exactly
right. I mean,
right.
it had to happen.
But here's the deal. Because when Judas and Peter are sitting at the table, you've got two betrayers
That's
there.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Peter did every bit as much betraying as Judas did.
Now it comes back to David and Saul, doesn't it? Because they both betrayed Yahweh, but David was a massive repenter, just like Peter.
That's exactly
Peter
right.
was a repenter. Judas was not.
He hanged himself. He did
right.
himself in.
Yeah.
So the other thing that churches miss oftentimes is the fact that right after that, when Jesus talks about a sword, he says to take up your cross.
Yeah.
He doesn't say take up a sword.
Take up your cross and follow me daily.
Yeah.
Daily.
That's
Cross
exactly
and
right.
sword
And
kind of
what's-
similar shape.
Well, what's funny,
That's right.
what's funny is he says that before he even goes to the cross.
Absolutely does.
Yeah.
I mean,
That lets you know that he knows he's going to the cross for one, and for two is that we have to join with him in the suffering.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mean that your life's going to be miserable, your life's going to be painful and all those kind of things. He means you got to put to death what the sword divides.
Yeah.
The sword will divide one end, what is a worldly, political success, whatever's on this end. And then you got the spiritual side on this side. You have to put to death what's on this side. And it's a struggle. And that's what Paul talks about, put on the new self every day. We have to fight that side every day.
our battle is not against flesh and blood.
Right.
That he just says it right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Basically, it's saying what Jesus was saying
That's
in
right.
different words. So, if we want to get to some of these questions, the self-defense question is always a complicated one. Proverbs 34:11 or 24:11 says, "Rescue those being led away to death." I don't think there is any. I don't ever have any problem with self-defense.
Well, and I'm the same. Pat, the veteran. Pat, you were in the military. I don't think that our soldiers, when they serve in the military, I personally do not believe that they're murderers. If they in combat take another man's life, I don't look at that as they're committing murder.
No, but here's the funny thing about society, though, is if a soldier shoots an insurgent, it's for the country's sake. If you shoot someone breaking into your home, all of a sudden it's a trial.
Yeah.
If someone attacks you on the street and you shoot them, then it's like, is that murder or is it not?
Yeah.
So the narrative goes to push what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you look at soldiers defending your home, defending yourself on the street, whatever the case may be. It comes down to the facts.
Well, and I think the most important thing to get at in this whole idea of self-defense and even just war, military, action, all these kinds of things is, first of all, understand that Jesus never commanded it.
Right.
So we can't baptize this in Christianity.
That's right.
I don't even think we can. I always get really nervous when people start saying, well, God is on our side because God is for our country because we are clearly the good people. When we've hardly ever had a good motive for many of the wars.
Look, I'm going to tell you something that my dad told me a long time ago is, because today, kids get into fights, they pull knives, they pull guns and all kind of things. I'm telling you right now, a good punch in the mouth has set me straight many a times. You know what I mean? And it's like, yep, I'm done with that. And so here's the deal is not every violence has to end in death.
Yeah.
Self-defense does not mean killing someone
No,
so
it
you
doesn't.
live.
No.
It just means making sure you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it all relates to taking up the sword. You don't have to kill somebody. You can just cut off their ear.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you remember Dietrich Bonhoeffer?
Not off the top of my head.
Let's say
He was a very, very famous German
Well, I was going to say, was this
pastor.
German?
theologian, all this stuff. He was
1600s?
He was right in the middle of all the Hitler stuff.
Okay. No, okay. This was 1900s. Then. Gotcha.
And he actually became a part of a group that plotted to assassinate Hitler.
Oh, the Valkyrie
I was
group?
going to say, is that the Valkyrie thing?
I don't know if
It
he was
is.
a part
It's
of
Operation
officially that,
Valkyrie.
but I know that he was very heavily involved in that. And that's ultimately his association with that was what got him the firing squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to be Operation Valkyrie then.
The interesting thing about him is he knew he said, I think I'm sinning. I'm probably sinning. But I think I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like intentionally sinning
To try to take down Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so.
But see, and that's where I'm like, Hitler was so evil.
Well,
But I'm
here's
like, man, I don't know. That's how I look at it in my
the
head.
Germans were also really big into the occult. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And Nostradamus named the second Antichrist as Hisler. And the Germans thought it was Hitler. So that brought a lot of the occultist Germans up against Hitler.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
That's a little heavy.
yeah.
There you go, Pat, bringing Nostradamus into all this. So. Anything else we need to know about that?
I know they were all on
That's-
meth.
Well, it was 1555 when they found it, and a lot of them believed that Hitler was Hisler. And that was one of the spurring points of Operation Valkyrie.
Well, I mean, they could be right.
Yeah.
They could absolutely be right.
Yeah.
That's wild stuff. So, where do we land in this whole thing with Jesus and the sword? What do you think, Pat?
I think Jesus is meaning a spiritual sword, first and foremost. I really think it means divide. It's a division thing, dividing things that we don't want. I mean, the things that we do want to be a part of our Christian life that we can have, and a Christian life part of things that cannot coincide with regular life. And even though that line is blurred some, you have to put the sword down to choose what is right and what is wrong. You have to cut out the stuff. That's called sanctification. You know, and I think that's what Jesus is getting at here.
What do you think, Logan?
No, I agree. And I think that I'm thinking back to where it says basically, he who lives by the sword dies by
That's
the sword.
exactly what he says. Yes.
And
when he tells Peter to put away the sword, he said, if you want to live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword.
And that's where again, I am a big defender kind of guy. Like I'm a believer in that. And but the thing that I think about, the way I think about that is if you are actively seeking violence, then you will meet violent means. That's where it's like, I've always said, man, hey, if you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it.
Yeah,
And-
well, that's the old expression. You knock on the devil's door long enough, he'll answer.
Yep.
And I do not believe in any way, shape, or form Jesus made these statements with the Second Amendment in mind.
Yeah. No, I don't think our Bill of Rights was in his was on his
No way,
thoughts.
shape, or form. I really think he's talking about spiritual things. He's talking about the kingdom. He's talking about
Look, I'm a proud American, proud to be an American. I love my country, but I
At
don't.
least I know I'm free.
Yeah.
Is that Lee Greenwood? Good job. Yeah.
But I don't think that the United States was in Jesus's head when he's going to be crucified on the
That's a
cross.
good point. That's a
Not
very
at
good point.
all. Yeah, and it really bothers me. People say, "Well, America's New Jerusalem." No, it's not. Stop. Stop.
Look, and again, I'm not trying to offend anybody. Like I got an American flag. It's actually, I took it down the other day because the wind got insane.
Oh yeah, we're sure Hitler. I'm glad that's why you took it down.
But yeah, no, I mean, just don't seek violence.
Yeah.
Or, and the same thing, I think, when it would come to, okay, so say we lived under a dictator, I don't know that Jesus wants us to build a bomb and
Try to overthrow it.
you know,
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
not sure that's the way.
Well, we've been going through Kings, the first and second Kings, in our
Yeah.
Thursday morning. And the number one thing I've learned is that God always says, mess around and find out.
I know.
Yeah.
Mess around and
I'll
find out.
take care of it.
Yeah, mess around and find out. And so if you want to be violent, go for it. It might not be Pat,
Well.
Logan, or Peter that does anything about it, but,
And again,
mess around and find out.
yeah, and again, I mean, again, Jesus and what he say, vengeance will be mine.
That's
I mean,
exactly
so
right.
that's where that's where I fall. I'll tell you, that's where I have fallen on this. I'll just like the Epstein files.
Yeah, wow.
I'm like, man, I so much would love to see justice brought to the people because I think it's despicable, and I mean, there isn't a more foul thing almost, but I'm like, I've had people that obsess over this, and they'll say stuff like, well, man, how do you feel about this? And how can they're not even getting any justice? And I told them, I said, man, look, as much as I'd love to see them have some sort of earthly justice, I'm like, the heavenly justice that they're going to meet afterwards is going to be far more than what we could ever do to them anyways.
Dude, that's a very good point. Is like whenever we see a travesty in the world, right? And we think this ought to happen. Whatever it is, the consequence. This ought to happen.
Yeah.
But that's a very good point. It's not on me to make sure that happens.
No.
It's not my decision. It's not my responsibility. It's not even within my power to make sure that happens.
If you were called to stand and speak against it, you would get the sword, though.
That's right.
You would.
Yeah.
You just would.
Yeah.
By the way, I never told you guys, I was actually offered a job with Lee Greenwood one time.
Really? Oh, so you were like, no, I'm Russian.
The funny thing was, I ended up getting a better offer just like a week later. And I went, man, I've dodged a bullet on that one.
Man, yeah.
'Cause, I mean,
That's the only song he's got, ain't
I'm
it?
proud to be an American.
But, here's a nice guy, and he plays the saxophone. So there's that. And it would have been a paying gig, that would have been fine. But the idea of playing that song every single night.
I would want to ram my head through a wall.
What job did you take in response to that?
Let me think about this.
Was
Dixie
it
Chicks.
Chad Brock or was it Martina McBride? Or Jody Messina.
I believe it was Chad Brock.
All right, but still, though, that's still better because Lee Greenwood's a one-hit wonder.
Well, Lee Greenwood was a has-been by the time I got there.
Right.
Chad was writing a number one single.
Yeah,
on
She
his
Said
way
Yes
to another
blew
one.
up. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But anyway, here's my kind of final thought here because, Jesus, even when he's teaching his disciples these, very heavy heavenly concepts, chooses his words very carefully.
Yeah.
And so, especially in the Matthew passage when he says, I have not come to bring peace, but to bring a sword. Mm-hmm. I think it's all of the images of a sword that we see throughout Scripture. The sword coming out of his mouth. I did not come to bring peace, but I came to bring truth.
Yeah.
And truth will always divide people.
Yeah.
And I think that in the context that he uses it too is the opposite of peace.
Right, exactly.
And that means
That's what I'm
between
saying.
people.
Also, but think about this level. I didn't come to bring peace between people. I also didn't come to bring peace in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
This is not a peaceful
It's not going to make me happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, Jesus said, I'm not going to make it to where y'all have comfortable conversations at Thanksgiving.
Well, but also, this is hard stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to be going against the grain every time you turn around. You're not only going to have Rome against you, which every Jew does, but you're going to have Jews against you.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have Gentiles against you. And then
other believers against you.
Well, but think about this then. What happens after Jesus is resurrected, the church starts. Now all the Gentiles get to come in and be a part of this church. Oh, yeah. Okay. So now you got Jews and Gentiles trying to, kind of work this thing out.
And you bet Simon the Zealot was just happy over that.
But what about, how did Peter's family feel about him hanging out in synagogues with Gentiles?
Sure. Yeah.
Not very good. And so I think Jesus is making a very broad statement here that life is going to get more difficult from here.
Yeah.
And then when he comes back to it in Luke, he's not just talking about what's going to happen that night with his arrest. Mm-hmm. It's the whole thing. It's like, and I think there's a little bit of foreshadowing here too, because these very ones that are going to scatter and are going to be restored are going to be the apostles,
The church fathers,
of the church.
That's right.
And so it's like, so guess what? Your life's going to get even more difficult when the kingdom is established through the church on the earth. And it was. Every one of them was martyred mercilessly, except for John, who they tried to, and they threw him in a pot of oil, and he wouldn't melt.
I love the fact too that Jesus told Peter that you will deny me 3 times, and all the disciples were sleeping, and he come to them 3 times.
Well, everything's in threes, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They prayed 3 times. They were asleep 3 times. He said, Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times. That 3 is the perfect number. It's the number of the Trinity. And so when Peter would have felt the full weight of that. Like, you're going to deny me 3 times. It's like you're going to really
deny me.
You really deny me.
You are going to be out of fellowship with me in that incident. And so I think, that Jesus says, I'm not going to bring peace. I'm going to bring a sword. Really means I'm going to expose things. I'm going to expose people. I'm going to expose really bad religious thought and theology.
Do you think it even exposed the apostles until the resurrection?
Oh, absolutely it did. They were laid wide open when Jesus was arrested because they all ran like children.
Yeah.
And it says,
they were behind locked doors.
It says there was one young man who ran away and his cloak fell off of him and he ran away naked.
Yeah.
and most
Streaking.
Then he got really fast.
Most of the scholars believe that was actually John Mark.
Really?
Yeah.
Who wrote the Gospel of Mark with Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the things that ended up kind of humbling him to a place of service, that he was the one that ran away naked.
Except I beat
So there
Peter
you
to
go.
the tomb. No, well, that's John.
That's John.
Yeah.
John, John is careful to write that he was the disciple that Jesus loved the most. And he was also a faster runner than Peter. Yeah.
The one who Jesus loved got there first.
Yeah. So anyway, so that is a hard saying of Jesus. Both of these are.
Yeah.
The one that we didn't get to that is just kind of a sidebar, but it's an interesting verse, is the verse that says, for the kingdom suffers violence and the violent take it by force.
Yeah.
That's another one. That one, basically, it's one of the most confusing passages to translate in the New Testament, but there's several ways that you can look at that. But basically, it is, saying there are many people that will come against the kingdom of God, but those who will remain faithful will remain faithful.
Right. Yeah.
They will expand it by force.
Yeah.
So let's just suffice it to say, none of these passages are about us taking up arms and going and conquering people.
That's right.
Yeah.
That just isn't the way of Jesus.
Yeah.
Should we defend ourselves? I believe we should.
Yeah.
Should we resist oppression? Yes, we should, but not with like bombs and stuff.
And you know what? That's even a better expression too to think about. I think that Jesus is calling us to travel into the darkness that he's already conquered.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, that it's all, I think it's all wrapped up in there.
Yeah.
I think we get the armor of God sword. I think we get the sword coming out of Jesus' mouth. I think we get the sword that's the word of God is sharper than the two-edged sword. I think it's persecution, it's conflict, it's division, it's the whole thing. I think he just like said a mouthful when he says that this time.
Yeah.
And I think in the Luke passage, he's going like, guys, I wasn't talking about that sword. I just, it wasn't even, he's like, yeah, we got two fillet knives.
Yeah.
And he's like, enough of that.
Like
you know?
it reminded me so much of the parables when Jesus is basically going, "Are you that dumb?"
I know.
You know, this is what it really means.
But he's patient with them.
Yeah.
He is, and thank God he's patient with us as well.
Oh, man.
Because I'm a big dumb dummy most of the time.
So let us know what you think about the sword. It is a very difficult and sometimes confusing, very much mistranslated concept.
And if you disagree with us, we're going to come to your house with a sword.
That's exactly right.
That's
Because
right.
that's what the scripture says.
I'm going to take my little fillet knife and surgically remove your ear.
Right here. There you go.
One right there you go. Look, I've got two swords.
There's one right here too.
Yeah, see?
Well, so you'll learn this in the military. That's knife right there. That's knife hand. Gotcha.
That's right. So let us know what you think about all this. and we will. I guess we'll
get you next week.
Be conscientious objectors.
Yeah.
There you go.
If you see the headphones sitting on us sideways, it's because we lost an ear.
Yeah,
We lost an ear.
There it is. So,
all right, guys, we appreciate you. Catch you next week.